Hey, what is up, everybody? Your voice, man, from the Abigail Podcast. Coming out with another live episode. Uh, and today I want to sit down and chat a little bit about what's going on around the sports world, giving you a warm up here before my the weekly throwdown, which we're actually recording live on Rumble today, and it's going to come out live on YouTube on Thursday. But anyway, stick around. Actually, we are debuting my own personal show, the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast, in Rumble today. Hopefully, everything is going. It's going okay based on my stuff here. So anyway, we're definitely going to do a talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers finally becoming a Jet. We're going to talk about a little bit about Jimmy Butler becoming having one of the greatest runs in the playoffs you've actually ever seen. Right now is historically playoff Jimmy is legit, and of course, I got to give you a little bit of some Knicks talk regarding my Knicks here, who are 3-1 in the Cavs. So anyway, we're streaming live on YouTube, streaming live on Twitter, which is pretty great. So anyway, without further ado, let's start with the Jets. Finally, the Jets get their man. You know what? And honestly, overall, we knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. I want to say that they didn't give up a lot for a 1 year rental of a Hall of Famer. So that's pretty much what they're getting. Let me break down real quick what the Jets were able to sacrifice in order to get big dog Hall of Famer A. Rod, maybe Aaron Rodgers. So this trade includes a first round pick in this year's draft. Right? They're going to try. They're going to swap first round picks. The Packers will now get 13th overall on Thursday night, and the Jets will move up to 15. Jets also are sending Green Bay second round pick number 42 and the sixth round pick number 207 overall, 207 overall in this year's draft, as well as the 2024 conditional pick that will be a first round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the plays for the Jets in the 2023, or a second round pick if he doesn't play the 65% of the play. In addition to that, to Rodgers, the Jets will receive a fifth round pick, numbers 170 overall in this year's draft. And of course, Aaron Rodgers is scheduled to make nearly 60 million a year right now. And then most likely he's going to renegotiate that contract as soon as he signs with the team. That's exactly what's going to happen. There's no if, ands, or buts here. It's going to end up renegotiating as soon as possible. What does this whole mean? Look, Aaron Rodgers was really pushing hard to get traded because he did not want to be with the Packers anymore. Honestly, this is what he wanted. This is exactly what he wanted, and he got what he wanted. Plain and freaking simple. He got what he wanted. Now, it's hard because he just talked himself into one of the toughest divisions in football. Absolutely one of the toughest divisions in football. All right. He is going to the AFC East where he could be looking in from the outside in one of the toughest divisions where he has to play the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, and a decent defense. He's going to have to play the dynamic offense of the Miami Dolphins, they're going to have to put up a lot of points. He's also going to play a tough defensive New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. So he's not going into a cakewalk here, boys and gentlemen. He has an opportunity to finish. This team has an opportunity to finish third and missing the playoffs. That's what you get when you play in that tough division. Regardless of the fact, I think the Jets have the tools. Great defense, a beast of a running back in Brees Hall. Garrett Wilson is definitely a number one and a stud. The Jets signed their security blanket in Alan Lazard. And let's see what the Jets do in the playoffs to improve that offensive line, because that's where it is. Honestly, and I hate to say this, but it's going to be Super Bowl or bust for Aaron Rodgers, for the Jets. I believe the Jets traded a nice deal. I think they got a nice deal. They didn't give up the farm for A. Rod, and it was a good call. It was a good value. It was a good value they got overall. They didn't spend a lot, honestly, to be honest with you, for a Hall of Fame quarterback, regardless of his attitude. A couple of things coming where, like I said, Aaron is 38 years old, probably has 2 good years in him. Tough division, really, really tough division to play. To play against. But also, let's see how Aaron is going to react to the New York media. This is not Wisconsin. Wisconsin is, it's a good sports town, Green Bay, but New York, man, the New York media, the New York tri-state area media is going to eat you alive, alive. All right, doesn't matter who they are. Remember, this is media that booed Derek Jeter, their favorite son, at one point, has booed Patrick Ewing, has booed all the New York greats over and over again in the history of this sports town. It is. It is what it is. But I think it's the playoffs could be it's expected at minimum for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. At minimum, the playoffs are expected. However, um, let's see, because I think a Super Bowl has to be entitled. He's under a lot of pressure. Tom Brady, who Aaron Rodgers is compare in the same category of goatness, right? Even though Tom Brady is the best, but Aaron Rodgers is in the same realm with Peyton and stuff like that, right? Even though he only has one Super Bowl, but the amount of MVPs, what he could do, what he's done in the field, he has a lot of shoes to live up because Tom Brady did it the first year when he got traded to the Bucks and won a Super Bowl. So I think the Jets are looking for that same lightning in a bottle. They are hoping they struck lightning in a bottle with the Aaron Rodgers trade. Again, in my opinion, is definitely Super Bowl or bust. Playoffs are expected, but Super Bowl is what's going to dictate. And it's not like it's going to ruin his legacy if he doesn't get it. However, it's got to be a nice little point there that people are going to say, why did you leave Green Bay? Why did you just finish your career? One thing I want to show here look, and also he needs to have a better career than the 1 year of Brett Favre and the dumpster fire of Brett Favre with the Jets. In 2008, Brett Favre passed for 3,400 yards, a little bit over 400 yards, 22 touchdowns, 22 interceptions, which we know that Brett Favre is an individual that turns the ball over throughout his career. But it was a dumpster fire, man. They lost out to not making the playoffs. They started out like 7-3, and then after that, it became a dumpster fire. They lost out to the Dolphins and lost that playoff spot in the last game of the season. And look, it was just not a great Brett Favre experiment. How would Aaron Rodgers do? The difference is that Aaron Rodgers is a guy that has been efficient all his career. I think still has some really decent mobility, and he has weapons. Again, he's playing with young wide receivers, young running backs. He's not playing with veterans. Alan Lazard is his only veteran, but that's security blanket, so that's a good thing. But he needs to have a better season than Aaron Rodgers. He needs to absolutely, at minimum, make the playoffs, and he needs to win the Super Bowl in order to be a grand move by the Jets. Recapping this, I think he did well for himself. I think the Jets did well. They did not sacrifice and sold the farm for Aaron Rodgers. Good value. It wasn't super expensive. I think it's absolutely acceptable. So it was all good. Now, Aaron Rodgers today, actually, he's kind of a douchebag, kind of a D-bag, bro, because that's the way he is. He's cocky. He's one of those guys that I'm better than you. Whatever. The guy has the resume to be a D-bag all day, every day. But, it doesn't mean you could be a dick. But anyway, he actually had a nice move, and I think it was all his team. But let me share. He actually put out a nice social media post and a nice long letter thanking the Green Bay uh, Packers, the organization, the fans, the loyal fans, and let me go ahead and share this with you. I think it was actually pretty cool. It was a classy move by A-Rod over here. And let's take a look. I mean, there you go. I mean, he went out there and did a nice social media post there on his IG, 2.1 million followers. He went ahead and posted this nice, kind of cool goodbye letter thanking everybody. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So, but go ahead and look at it. Actually, go to the score. Not. But one of the few things that I saw is that, you know, he's not sure how possible to express his gratitude to the Packers, the incredible fans, the state of Wisconsin, the incredible men and women. He thanked the organization that worked and got him this, along this way. In one post with 10 pictures, I hope you could read this and feel his heart and soul and how love and joy and peace about his time in Green Bay and the gold. So 10-time Pro Bowler, thank the fans and teammates, several members of the Green Bay front office. And, like he said, this is not the end for us. I will see you again, Green Bay. You will always have my heart. He added. And look, there's his picture of getting drafted and all that good horse hockey. Again, nice touch by Aaron Rodgers there. Let me go ahead and stop. I think that was nice. That was very nice by him. But overall, man, Aaron Rodgers is Super Bowl or bust for the Jets. If not, I think this could be a shot in the dark. But again, I like the trade. You have to strike for gold. You have to go big, and then the Jets did not give up a lot, so that's a good thing. All right, let's move on to the next topic here. Let's chat about wow, playoff Jimmy buddies, playoff Jimmy boys and girl has been on fire right now. Look, they are destroying the Bucks. I know everybody's saying, well, guess what? Giannis has been hurt. That's true, but the Bucks have a better team than the Heat, regardless. And like I tell people, Tyler Hero went out. All right, also in the playoffs, who is the second leading scorer of the Heat, their clutch shot maker, their best outside shooter. Oladipo, who's supposed to get the big minutes after Hero went out, who's out for the season, now goes out for the season again. He's playing hobbled himself, but Jimmy Butler has been playing like a man possessed, all right, in these playoffs. The man has been balling his ass out and is playing freaking ridiculous. We got to give him his flowers. We have to respect Jimmy. Give Jimmy his freaking respect because playoff Jimmy's in full effect. They're leading the series 3-1, not only against the best team in the NBA because the Bucks are that damn good, regardless of Giannis being hurt. They have a great all-around team with Drew Holiday. All right, they have a great, Brook Lopez been playing out of his mind. Oh my God, I keep forgetting about the two guard. He'll come up to me. They have enough tools in order to at least this should have been like a 2-2 series. But Jimmy Butler, that game three, guys, like that game. I mean, I'm sorry, that game four was ridiculous. All right, 56 points, 56 freaking points, 9 rebounds, an efficient 19 for 28 from the field. He's averaging 36 and a half points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5 assists per game. The dude is shooting an insane 62.8% from the field. All right, field goal percentage. All right. He's the first player in franchise history, and franchise history, and they've had some good players, all right, to drop a 50-point playoff game. Alonzo Mourning, who's a Heat great, never did it. Dwayne Wade, and never did it. The great LeBron James, who even played there 4 years, never did it. All right. He's in a short list right now. Michael Jordan was 63. Elgin Baylor. I can't believe that I'm a Michelin in this list, but I remember doing it in the playoffs a couple of years ago in Utah. And of course, Jimmy Butler with 57. I mean, he is right there atop of some royalty. And we got to give Jimmy his flowers. 56 in the last game, 30 in the previous game, 25, 35. My man is just hooping. And he's such a humble guy. He's a pain in the ass, like people say, but he's one of those guys as a perfectionist. He wants to work hard. He gets in the gym before anybody else. And that bothers some of these entitled players. But that's who Jimmy is. Honestly, the 76ers had made probably one of the worst mistakes in their franchise history. Because when they were rebuilding and they traded for Jimmy Butler from excuse me, from Minnesota. And then they also traded for Tobias Harris the same year after they were bounced in the playoffs. Guess what? They gave Tobias Harris a long-term deal and did not sign Jimmy Butler. And that's how Jimmy ended up with the Heat. So with that being said, they fucked up. They should have signed Jimmy Butler and gotten rid of Tobias Harris. This 76er team would have been a lot different. And I think him and Joel Embiid would have played well together. Yes, they were looking for somebody that can shoot well from the outside. They were looking at other categories here and there. They had Simmons back then who can handle the rock and rebound, which is kind of a similar player to Jimmy, even though Jimmy is a much, much better player than Simmons, can actually all-around guard, two guard, but can also score. But he's also the body and soul of the team. He's a leader. He's a guy that busts his ass day in and day out. All right, and leads the team by example. And he's done it with the Heat. And in the short time with the Heat, man, in the bubble, he took the Heat to the NBA championships, lost 6 games to the Lakers. Playoffs every year since he's been with the Heat. He's about to pull one of the biggest upsets in NBA history. If they beat the Bucks, which right now is looking very likely, the Heat are going to pull the biggest upset in playoff history, in the history of that NBA, because we thought that I think Golden State Warriors beating the Dallas Mavericks, the best record in the league, was bad. This is worse because you have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is is the best player in the league, who's a championship, two-time MVP, solid team. Chris Middleton was what I was trying to say. With Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, all right, Bobby Portis, great bench. If they pull this off, Jimmy Butler has to be recognized as having one of the best runs in the history of the NBA in the postseason. Now, there's still one more game to win it, or two more games, or it's best out of seven. Anything could happen. We've seen this happen before. But right now, if Jimmy has a game five, he doesn't have to drop 56, but if Jimmy drops 35, 7 and 8, this is over, boys and girls. This is over. It's gonna be a dogfight. Right now, the Bucks are really not looking great, and it's do or die. Every single game from now on is do or die for the Bucks. I know Giannis has been hobbled. It's tough. Giannis has been hobbled. However, it's not the main excuse because the Heat has had their issues. It is what it is. It is what it is. So I hate to say this. You cannot just did not make excuses. Let's not make excuses overall. Let's not make excuses for just Jimmy Butler. I mean, for just Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks because they're doing whatever they're doing. Let's not do that. It is not all because Giannis has been hurt. It's not because of that. It is not because Giannis has been hurt. It's because Jimmy Butler has played an unbelievable game. He is doing what he's supposed to be doing. The man is legit. The man is nasty. So shout out to Jimmy Butler, who's having one of the best playoff runs out there. Shout out to the Miami Heat. It's truly remarkable right now, and the Heat are on the verge of taking out Jimmy Butler. And now let me show you a little quick humor here. Right now, this is how the Milwaukee Bucks feel at this moment, sitting 3-1.
Yeah, listen. We fucked up.
Dude, Jimmy Butler is legit. 3-1 right now. It's sitting very, very pretty. Sitting very, very pretty. And Jimmy's could make history. He's in the verge of making history. Hey, we got to play this video again. I'll do this.
Yeah, listen. We fucked up.
All right, let's move on to the next. Topic here, and let's keep on the basketball tip here. Let's talk about some Knicks. Let's talk some Knicks basketball over here. Right now, the Knicks are up 3-1, 3-1, baby, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's been a really throwback series to like the '90s, man. It's been a very ugly looking series. It hasn't been a lot of scoring, and please do not bet the over on a single game here because you're going to lose your money. Right now, man, the Knicks, it's ugly. This whole series. When you look at the shooting percentages, it's like 30. Both teams are shooting like 30% from 27% and 30% from three, 42% field goal percentage, pretty much overall, uh, respectively. It's a very very low scoring game on like the regular season where the Knicks put up a lot of points. The Knicks in the regular season were putting about 100, about 117 points per game. They were like third in the league. Net rating of three. They were doing pretty decent, but in the playoffs, it's been a complete throwback to the '90s, man. The Patrick Ewing Knicks, where they was grinding, you know what I mean, with Charles Oakley. Even though it's just the Cleveland Cavaliers also have a match up well against the Knicks, so and the Knicks don't match up well for the Cavaliers. With that being said, right now Jalen Brunson has been a true leader of this team. He's averaging 24 points a game. All right, the man has been bowling out of his mind. He's been that floor general again. This dude has been a complete steal. He's been the steal of free agency. As much again, I was wrong about this guy. I thought he was an overpaid backup point guard, but no, this dude is a legit starter who's actually an all star. All right, his guy's an all star, but he's been averaging 24 points per game, 94 from the free throw. Been hitting great, playing great in the fourth quarter. And let me tell you who stepped up also in the Knicks in this series. All right, RJ Barrett, man. RJ Barrett has had back-to-back great games, picking up the slack for the disappearing act of Julius Randle, who again, remember what I've said in some of my past streams, or some if you listen back to my show. I love Julius Randle as a regular season player, but man, he's not that dude. He's not that dude. He disappears like smoke. He evaporates in the playoffs, and he's doing it all over again. I mean, he's shooting 32%, excuse me, 25 from 3-point line, 25% from 3-point line. He's disappeared completely. But RJ Barrett along Jalen Brunson have picked up the slack. Josh Hart, that trade has been to me has to be one of the most and most important traits of the regular season, not just for the Knicks, but in the NBA. He's been showing up in the playoffs, averaging 13 and a half points per game. Okay, my man, he's shooting 55% from beyond the arc, 60 from the field, playing 32 minutes a game. He's playing the third most minutes in that team. So he's playing really, really good minutes. And this dude is an all-around player, man. 6.8 rebounds, one of the best rebounding guards in the league. He is also a guy that plays good defense, man. 1.5 steals per game. He's doing his thing. I mean, Julius is disappeared, but he's still putting 14 points per game. And of course, man, the bench, IQ hasn't gotten off yet. The guys like the rookie Quentin Grimes have been not getting a lot of minutes. So the young players haven't played a lot. It's all been the veterans, but Julius Randle, man, and he needs to step it up if the Knicks are going to have a chance here to close this out. So Josh Hart was a complete stud pickup. Great job by that Knicks front office to pick him up earlier in the season. They did their thing, man. They did their thing. And, I know Mr. Spidey, all right, Mr. Spidey over there, my man, Donovan Mitchell, who I like. I like Donovan Mitchell. I do like Donovan Mitchell very much. I wish that trade would happen for the Knicks because he would have played a little different. But right now, he's not being the difference maker that they signed him up to be. And unfortunately, that's the problem with Donovan Mitchell. He is such a ball hog because that's just the way he is, a volume shooter. You know what I'm saying? He's a volume shooter. He's a guy that's going to go ahead and put up the shots. And unfortunately, man, he kind of takes away a little bit from Darius Garland, who's a really good player. But regardless of the fact, man, the Knicks almost got him. The Knicks almost pulled up that trade, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a backstory with that trade, but it didn't happen. And he ended up with the Cavs. And look, the Cavs had a great season. The Cleveland Cavaliers were able to make the playoffs and the number 4 seed. Come on, you got to give the man his flowers as well, right? He's a dude that he's a reason why they're the 4th seed, why they're vastly improved. I don't know, you got him bad. People keep bashing him, but the guy has been stepping up. But unfortunately, man, wow, he hasn't been shooting great from the field. This last game, Donovan Mitchell really struggled. 5 for 18 from the field, all 4 from 3. He played 42 minutes, man. I had 11 points. That's not what you do, man. You can't do that. And it kind of messes up the offense here. So Donovan Mitchell needs to become a little bit more of a facilitator. Let Garland get his a little more often, even though Garland had a better game this time around. But I mean, 18 shots for Donovan Mitchell. And look, the Cavs got a really good roster, man. Mobley, who's been nasty all year long. You got Karis LeVert, who's a good player, been 6-man. They have a nice roster. Unfortunately, the Knicks have been playing much, much better defense and have been keeping that offense at bay. 3-1 right now. The Knicks look good, baby. Here, let me. In other words, this is pretty much what I think Donovan Mitchell wishes. I mean, this is what Donovan Mitchell probably wishes would have happened, right? If he had a crystal ball before he got traded to the Cavs.
Spidey! Don't you wish you came to the
Damn near crowd, man. These Knicks fans are ruthless, bro.
Spidey! Don't
They're
you wish
ruthless.
you came to the Spidey! Don't you wish you came to the
Absolutely classic, man. Absolutely freaking classic. It's classic, man. The Knicks Knicks fans are ruthless, man. They're freaking ruthless. I mean, let's hear this one more time. They said, "Spidey, don't you wish you've come to the Knicks?" I mean, look, I decided I make this video and I put the crub in there, and then the crowd was outside on
Oh,
fire.
Spidey! Don't you wish you came to the...
The Knicks and the Heat have an opportunity to upset and meet themselves in the second round. It could be an old school matchup. I think the Knicks are going to close this out, maybe game 6. But the way the Cavaliers have been playing, I am not going to put it back to Knicks to close this out in game 5. Again, the Knicks have been playing completely amazing, really, really good defense. Offense hasn't shown up because Julius Randle has had a rough time scoring the ball. But the team they have it's been ugly. I mean, it's been ugly. The Knicks are averaging 98 points per game, and the Cavaliers have averaged about 94. Yes, it's a +4 in offense, but I think it's just these are good teams that have a lot of good defensive players and 2 defensive-minded coaches. I think that's the reason why we actually have that. So, yeah, baby. That's all I got for you today, man. I appreciate it. I mean, I was trying to go live on Rumble. I think I might have messed up, so I apologize for Rumble. I went and took a peek at the page real quick, and I see that my video was still waiting. So next time we'll jump on Rumble. But thank you very much, guys. Listen, today live on Rumble and the Fantasy Sports Rumble channel and YouTube channel. We will be going live. Me and my buddy Jordan, we're gonna record for YouTube, and we're gonna go live on Rumble for the weekly throwdown, weekly episodes because he has to travel to the NFL draft. We're gonna be live. We're going to chop it up. We're going to do what we do best. That show is blowing up. And please go check us out at the Fantasy Sports Court YouTube channel tonight, live on Rumble. Check us out on Rumble tonight. It's going to be fire. And before I let you go, one more time, baby, because your boy's a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's a Knicks fan. So, look, I'm sorry, that was the Michael Jordan one. Your boy's a Knicks fans right there. So I gotta do this one more time. I gotta go ahead and do this one more time. Ready?
Oh, Spidey! Don't you wish you came to the...
Yo, New York, baby. Yo, Knicks represent. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk podcast signing out. Peace.